The Night Before Christmas in Newfoundland. Story and art by Bob Uden, edited by Al Clouson. 'Twas the night before Christmas down here in Newfoundland, and there was ice and big snowdrifts aplenty on hand. With the kids all a-sleepin' upstairs in the loft, and mother in the kitchen cooking up a big scoff. Then I was cutting some splits for the stove, and mother was baking some bread, just 4 loaves, with peas pudding and cabbage, some spuds and corned beef. Just thinking about it, sure 'twill be a fine feast. Then down be the wharf there arose some big clatter. I thought that George Murphy fell off the flake ladder. I runs to the door like the clap of a bell, caught me toe in the rug, and be jumpin's I fell. As I gawked in the garden and out in the bay, by the cat got me tongue, I had nothing to say. I thought to myself, screech is all right, but a little too much will muck up your sight. As me eyes came accustomed to the wind and the snow, is this what 'tis like when your mind starts to go? I thought for the minute that me noggin come loose, but there was a punt pulled by 8 hardy moose, and a fat little skipper with a har in his hand. He was sculling the punt from the heights to the land. Then up through the garden the punt she fair came, and I heard the red skipper call each moose by name. Now move along, Brian and John and Bill, get up there, Mulrooney, to the top of the hill. And then he hollered, did he ones in the front, now Jerry and Neil keep pulling this punt to the top of the shed, and then onto the roofs. You could tell they was up there by the sound of the hooves. Then over the loft there rose such a clatter, and I thought what might happen if them moose was much fatter. I was feared for a second the shingles might peel from the scraping and scratching of the big punt's keel. Then down through the chimney the old skipper he came, and of course it was Santa, to use his right name. Then out in the front room a black cloud arose, the soot looked like spume from a whale when she blows. He stood for a minute to size up the place, with the black soot and the hashes all over his face. I thought to myself as I gawked at the man, what fine sealskin mittens he had in his hands, and glossy new gumboots to cover his feet. I couldn't imagine how he kept them so neat. He had a sou'wester whose color was red, and this he had perched on the back of his head, with them fine red oilskins like I never saw afore, that fitted too tight and reached down to the floor. His face it was worn and weathered and wrinkled, but his sparkling blue eyes still held to their twinkle. And now when I looked I saw naught but his back, as he wrestled and juggled the gifts in his sack. Then to the mantel as he lifted the socks, apples and oranges and small toys in a box. He topped off each one for the girls and the boys with a small bag of bullseyes and small wooden toys. He looked so happy and jolly and fine as he took a great gulp of dogberry wine. He tasted the fruitcake and then figgy duff. Then he spoke to himself, this sure is fine stuff. He tied up his sack with a big granny knot, then rested his hands on the top of his pot. Now to the chimney he went with a dash, as his eyes crossed the room with a flicker and flash. Now sure I must say that he caught a fine figure, as he slipped up the chimney like a bright squid jigger. He walked across the roof, back to the front, and I feared he might slip as he got in the punt. The house gave a shake from the roof to the floor, as Santa took charge of the big sculling whore. Then down through the garden and on to the bay, midst a clamor of wolves, I heard him say, "'Tis another year gone. God bless you and yours. May he grant you fair winds as you bend at the oars. A merry, very merry Christmas to all yous." The Night Before Christmas.